Hey, Donna and I are finishing up lunch here at Chili's for an early Mother's Day lunch. And look what we've been doing. We have been planning our backpacking trip through Shenandoah National Park. We've got our gut hooks going on her phone. Whoa, there it goes. And we've got trail guides and maps and little backpacking maps, and so we getting all the gear, everything together, and we should be on the trail in 3 weeks. Are you excited about that, Donna?
Very excited.
On May 12, 2018, my daughter Donna and I announced to the world we had made a plan to hike a section of the Appalachian Trail through Shenandoah National Park. So part of this was in celebration of my daughter earning her master's degree and my retirement. Though things didn't go 100% as planned, I don't think backpacking trips ever actually do, especially through hikes. But I kind of look back on it fondly, despite all the mishaps. And I thought it would be cool, since we had the Colorado Trail coming up in the future, if we could sit down and talk about it and record a series of videos, an interview on what happened, what we learned. I really wasn't going to publish these because Donna has a couple of parrots, and even though they were on the other side of the house, you can hear them all the way through the interview. But when I went back and rewatched them over and over and over again, I don't think we could ever recreate that energy that we had while we were talking about the trip. So even though these were filmed quite a while ago, we're going to introduce a new series here of the Appalachian Trail through Shenandoah National Park. Lessons learned and just a little recap of our adventure. And I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I have. Thank you.
First day on the trail.
Brutal. Brutal.
It wasn't even that steep of an incline.
But I don't think we were used to it. We put the pack on, and I know it wasn't as big as heavy, but as soon as I put my pack on, I kept thinking of that scene in Wild where she's on the floor trying to stand up with his pack on. I put it on and started going, oh my God. It just was this realization that I was carrying all this
You were
shit.
carrying too much. And we had another shakedown at the hostel.
Yes.
We started second guessing and we started putting stuff in that box to send forward to our exodus.
And the approach trail, thinking back, it wasn't that big a deal comparatively, but the approach trail was a pretty steep incline. It wasn't rocky though, it just seemed brutal. And just to get onto the trail, we were exhausted.
At that first mile, I remember thinking, why is it so hard?
It was really hard.
I don't know why it was so hard. I don't know. Because maybe we didn't get a good night's sleep, or maybe, I think, a lot of back through hikers talk about the first day after a resupply, they're so overloaded. Well, I think that part of that is that we had all of our food, and Shenandoah National Park has so many places you could resupply. I'm not sure why we felt like the need to carry enough food for 108 miles.
But we did.
Plus, we didn't know how reliable the water sources were, so I think I started out with 3 liters.
I did too. I had a 3-liter bag, and I also had a 1-liter bottle. So it was 4 liters.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if my pack was... I did not weigh it after it was full, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't close to 40, 45 pounds. Yeah. So I think...
I really think after we had all the water, mine was between 50 and 55 pounds.
When I took my first backpacking trip all those years ago, I was around 50. So I was over 10 years younger. But I had just lost 50 pounds too. and I had lost it within a year. And so I think my body was used to carrying that extra weight. Now I had gained it all back. And I had gained most of it back. And watching Second Chance Hiker talk about how it's harder for him than other people on the trail, because not only is he carrying his pack weight, is he's carrying a lot of extra body weight.
Yeah, and I've dropped probably 50 pounds since we did the AT. Well, 40, 50, but I was a lot heavier too. And it was warm. I remember it being hot.
It was hot.
Um,
Wasn't as hot as Texas, but it was warm.
it was warm.
It was humid.
So I think, just getting to the AT, and I think being that first, I think that's when all the realization hit me. I'm like, oh my God, this is so heavy. And I think I was probably already in the early stages of getting sick on top of that.
Yeah.
And it was hard. And then, we finally get on the trail, and these people it looks like they're speed walking.
The bubble.
It made me feel
They
so...
already had their trail legs.
It made me feel so fat and old and out of shape, because they're just like, phew, hello. Phew.
I can't remember if we were at the front end of the bubble or the back end of the bubble.
I don't know.
No, because we were going southbound, so we were probably crossing the bubble.
Yeah.
They were going north and we were going south.
So yeah, the approach trail was hard.
And it was only it was only like a mile or 0.8 miles. And I know we had to go another quarter mile back up the trail once we got to the trail to get our
To sign the registry.
to sign the register and get our permit. Mm-hmm. I remember I said, I'm going to drop my pack. I'm not taking the pack both ways. So I dropped the pack and went up there.
And it was hard. Yeah, and I kept thinking, I want somebody to take stuff in my pack. Looking back, nobody wants extra weight in their pack. They're not going to grab my stuff. They're just, totally wasn't prepared. But yeah, it was a big eye-opener. Huge. Just the approach trail. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, and that's when I developed this. That first day is when I developed this counting my steps to keep going. I just think one more step. Because I couldn't, I would look at the map and think of how many more miles we had to go. And when you're walking, you don't really realize how far you've gone. So it's hard to track how much further you have to go, when you're going to be able to stop. And so I realized real quickly that I just needed to count one more step. Just one more step. That's all I need to focus on, is walking one more step. So, I'd get into these mantras of counting 10s or 20s and starting back over and just say one more step, one more step. And that all started day one. Just take one more step.
I knew it would get lighter and easier as we got our, and get stronger. I knew it would take about 3 days. So I knew I was over encumbered. I knew I had too much weight. And I knew it was really hard, but I didn't ever think, I can't do this. I thought it'll get easier, because I've been backpacking before, so I know it does get easier. But I do know that I had brought way too much weight. So the first day, we decided we had to do a minimum of 5 miles.
I don't remember. I think it was between 3 and 5. We kept it real easy and light.
The first day, yeah. And so we came across a campsite, a primitive campsite, but it didn't meet our goal of our. It was too soon, which would have made us hike way too much the next day. So we decided to pass that campsite up. And then I think we decided we had to put in a minimum of 5 miles the first day. But once we got our 5 miles and we started looking for a place to set up. And the AT, what do they call it? The Green Tunnel. There's no place. There's no place.
There was no place.
There was no place. It was like walking through a thicket with a little tiny narrow slit through it.
And when it would open up, it was because we were on crevices.
Cliffs.
I think we wound up going, 8 miles that first
7 or
day?
8 miles, yeah. I can pull it up on the map. But
It was starting to get dark, and we were getting worried. because we knew we had to find a place soon. And we were so tired. We're just like, oh, please, God, let there be some place to put our stuff down, and nowhere. So yeah, we had to pull up the topo map. And I was just like, we were looking, I was like,
You
look.
had gut hooks.
Yes.
And I had a paper map, a paper guide.
So I pulled open the gut hooks, and I looked at the topo, and I'm like, you know, I looked at it, and of course it doesn't have trees or anything, but I'm like, this has got to have. This is a nice flat area.
This is the first time you had ever read a topo map. I was so proud of you for picking it up really quickly. So,
And I was just like, oh, please let it be. Please, please let it be. And of course we finally get there, and it had a nice place to camp.
it was flat.
It was flat, but there was deadfall.
Dead trees hanging everywhere.
Yeah, and so we had a real difficult time trying to hope we didn't die in the middle of the night from this.
Yeah, there were snags hung up, big trees hung up in other trees that hadn't come down all the way, and then there were trees on the ground, so it was not an open area.
But it was flat and not.
It was flat, but it wasn't open, but it wasn't brushy.
Correct.
It wasn't brushy. At least we could walk through it. So it was. We couldn't even put our tents close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were at least 30 feet apart, maybe.
And then we
couldn't find a freaking tree with a low enough branch to hang the bear bag.
And we were so tired. We were having such a hard time with the bear bag because we were so exhausted. I don't even think we ate that night.
I don't think we did either. I think I tried to eat, but couldn't. I think I ate a Cliff Bar or something like that. Not much. We were just too damn tired.
Yeah. That was day one.
It wasn't until after I made this video that I went back and mapped our actual footpath on day one. And even though Google Maps isn't 100% accurate when it comes to miles and elevation, you can see Google Maps says that we traveled 4.8 miles that day. Not the 8 miles that we thought we had, but it sure felt like 8 miles. But I think the reason it felt like 8 miles is that we gained 1,263 feet in elevation during those 5 miles and went downhill 614 feet. So that's a lot of elevation change for a couple of women from Texas. And that doesn't even include sidetrack that we did, which was a third of a mile. So that would be 0.6 miles both ways. But we did 213 feet in elevation for just to sidetrack and register. So looking back with the weight of our packs and the grade change that we're not used to, that was quite a bit for us, especially when you see how overweight we were. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll post day 2 and 3 and 4 and show you all of our adventures and misadventures. This will be a short series, and I'll try to keep each video kind of short so that y'all don't lose interest. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like if you enjoyed this, and subscribe, and leave any comments below, anything that you'd like to, any questions you have, and anything that you would like to see in future videos. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.